Now is the time for great revolution of film. Not only are we looking to face our tragedy and our comedy in the tragedy and a tragedy in the comedy, but we're looking to heal that in this new world, this new earth.
Tell me about the beginnings of young Heidi being inspired and discovering the arts and realising she has an knack for it. Just take me through that.
Well, it all started under a tree, writing poems. I was pretty much a writer since I was a kid and denied it and went into the performance part, which I did a lot of stage productions as a kid. Grew up basically on stage, in the backstage, anywhere near a stage I would be. And then thought that was what I was meant to do, and then realized that I really wanted to tell the story. Like, I was doing a Shakespeare production in London, and I just remember not getting the buzz that I wanted, that I was used to getting out of it, and not knowing really, sort of questioning why that was. And I realized that, it was a very, it was an all-female version of The Tempest, and so it was very exciting and fulfilling in that way. But yeah, I wanted to tell my own story. I wanted to birth my own story. Literally, when you're writing a screenplay, you feel like you are giving birth, because it's 9 months of toil, and then, once you give birth to it, then you have to, make sure everybody treats it with respect, or you treat it with respect. But yeah, so I learned to I learned screenwriting at university, which I found beautiful, because university teaches you to go deeper on things, and I'm glad I went and did that before I went to film school, where you learn to kind of market your idea, which is good. I learned how to write a log line. No, I learned a lot of things. I learned how to direct, which is also bringing, bringing those words off the page and bringing them to life and giving the story new life through other people.
Filmmakers, take me through. Give me your top 3.
I'd have to say Jane Campion. Her dark style, gritty, truthful, dark, gripping style. I love Ann Turner, who did a film that's not quite known. It's a 70s film called Celia, which you should check out. It's an Australian film. It's classified as a horror film, but it's got a deeper meaning, that film. It's got a lot of political references to the witch hunts in the 1960s. It's a really clever film. And I love Courtney Daniels, because she knows how to do everything when she films. She directs, and she doesn't need a lot, and she inspired me a lot, as well as Anna Lillian Mipor. She showed me how you can make a film on your own with a little budget, if you know how to create worlds. Oh yes, I love a Japanese director, actually, Naomi Kawase. When I watched her TED Talk, it's just hit me right in the heart. I just wanted to be able to communicate as a director with that amount of depth and heart, talking about why she makes film, to make connections with people. Ultimately, she talks about film distancing us from people when she talks about her grandmother, which she films from inside the kitchen, and she kind of pats her grandmother lovingly in the film. And then she wanted to actually go out and touch her grandmother on the face, and she films this part, and she talks about how she's both that filmmaker looking from the outside and that one wanting to get up personal and touch her beautiful grandmother. How would I describe MEDEA Instinct? MEDEA Instinct is about Georgia, played sublimely by Phoebe Jacoba, who is in a really desperate, dangerous position. She has to choose between herself and her baby. And nobody is listening to the warning signs and her cry for help. So I'm going to say it, 6 alternatives before breakfast.
That's fine.
Like Lewis Carroll's 6 impossible things before breakfast. And what does that mean? Well, don't feel limited. If you've decided to do something a certain way, and someone said to me, you know, it rains or something like that, maybe it's what we call a happy accident. Maybe this shot is better inside because you're having to put the two together, the couple together, and they're closer together, and it's raining and it's more intimate. And so being able to flow, you know, with what's happening, flow and alternatives. If you can mix those two things, you're able to flow with things. The essence of an idea cannot be destroyed if the idea is true. So from having written many, many screenplays over and over again, I have discovered that you can find the essence in that idea in so many versions of that idea, and you don't lose it. So you don't have to become attached to any outcome specifically. So when you're not having to be too attached to any outcome, then you can run, the schedule can run exactly how you want it to. You can flow with that. I think the having grace under fire while having to think of about a bajillion different things at the same time. I really exercised my grace muscle, yep. Well, I learned to exercise my grace muscle.
About your future plans, what's going on?
So my future plans pretty much are day in, day out, thinking about my debut feature film, Ms. Atlantis. And yeah, pretty much eat, sleep and drink Ms. Atlantis. Ms. Atlantis is about a singer-songwriter, Atlantis angel, who goes to stay at a beachside mansion hotel. And whilst there, she encounters a woman who looks a lot like her, which seems to be her double. This woman is a siren from the sea. And while she's there, she begins to remember things that she had forgotten a long time ago, and these memories lead her to a hidden world underneath an old boat shed. So how do we learn to tell different stories? Well, we tap into the limitless potential of everything around us and inside of us. This is why it's my mission to bring a new genre to film, which is called the spirit fiction film. What is the spirit fiction film? It's defined by its ability to open portals to our cosmological origins and spiritual origins. Literally millions of years of esoteric understandings and stories for us to use and delve from that has been hidden from us. The Green Woman films are high-spirited, high ethics, high art,